Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. I'm Arvash Supol. I'm a third year international relations student. I'm 20 years old, Scorpio. I am queer, South African, and Indian. There are negative attitudes prevalent in Hinduism towards homosexuality, especially currently. Such attitudes can generally be traced to religious fundamentalism or a lack of genuine spiritual advancement, both within Hinduism itself or from religious teachings introduced from outside of India. Among Hindus, there is a class of priests known as Smarta or caste Brahmins. Such priests and those who share their views typically follow a rigid interpretation of Hinduism that places strict religious codes above higher principles such as compassion and human kindness. Smarta Brahmins adhere to a strict caste system based entirely on birth and look down upon anyone considered lower. Women, Sudras are working or untouchable members of the society, Hindu society, merchants, artisans, dark-skinned people, and homosexuals. There's many other types, but these are some of the prominent people that Smarta Brahmins view against or view as lower than them. Such men typically emphasize materialistic family life, the production of offsprings promoted to highly heavenly planets, the worship that the worship of gods only to attain things. Smarta Brahmins and their views have existed since time immemorial, but are especially prominent in the present age of Kali Yuga, a less fortunate era marked by quarrel and hypocrisy. So, another influence of Hindu attitudes towards homosexuality is Islam. And this came from the period of Indian history where Islam ruled in northern India for more than 600 years from 11th to 17th century. The prevailing attitude of medieval Islam was to publicly disavow homosexual behavior while privately looking the other way or even engaging in it oneself. Homosexuality flourished during Islamic rule through, although not very openly. Another practice introduced under Islamic rule was the custom of castrating domestic maid servants or manservants and slaves. Male castration was widespread during Islamic period, and even today the most familiar word for eunuch in India is hijra, an Arabic term referring to immigrants fleeing Western Asia. In traditional Hinduism, effeminate men of the third gender, Shanda, would dress up as women and tie their genitals against the groin with a kopin, but did not practice castration. This traditional system was still prevalent in South India. By the time the British arrived, however, the Muslim practice of male castration was still very prevalent, and scholars thus mistranslated words such as kliba, shanda, napumsa, etc. to simply eunuch. Even today, Sanskrit to English terms for the third gender are typically limited to the Arabic word hijra. Lastly, the Christian British ideology of homosexuality hugely influenced Hinduism and the way they viewed the homosexual community. Their attitudes were viciously negative and remain prominent in India up until today. The British penalized homosexual behavior in India, first by hanging and then life sentences, and was incorporating Section 377, which saw homosexual individuals being sort of illegal. Their behavior was illegal in India. The British also criminalized cross-dressing, castration, and collecting arms under the Criminal Tribes Act of 1871 in an attempt to eliminate the hijra and third gender sects found all over India. Unfortunately, many of these harmful misunderstandings and attitudes have become ingrained in the modern Hindu psyche. So, this is what it is. From a long history of suppressing homosexual individuals in Hindu society, what does it have to do with Indians in South Africa? Let me tell you this. Indians in South Africa are known to have come from India. They boarded the ships, they landed here as sugarcane plantation workers, and the mentality they had was still influenced by the British, by the Muslims who ruled India for 600 years. And through this massive era of oppressing and suppressing homosexual individuals, Hindus forgot the fact that they belong to one of the most inclusive societies that was on this earth. So, for the South African Indian who's sitting in South Africa right now, who views homosexuality as dirty, abnormal, unnatural, they fail to realize that they're not voicing an opinion from their Hindu tradition. They're actually voicing the suppression that was found in the homosexual community by influences outside of our Hindu culture. I'm not attacking any other religion. I simply wish to bring to light the fact that Hindu society forgot its roots. Its roots is not to be rude, hurtful, ignorant to any individual who's different to the heterosexual narrative. The influences found by other religions, other communities, other societies was there for a reason. Fine. Their view and their structure of society was very different to ours. As a Hindu individual, it's the worst when you find someone within your community tell you that homosexuality is not found in our scriptures. Homosexuality is not a Hindu thing. It's, and I've heard this before. Homosexuality is a Western thing, and it's a brainwash tactic used to corrupt the youth. Do you hear yourself? Like, are you listening to what you're saying? Because this video today, I would like to boldly state that homosexuality is not a Western way of brainwashing Hindus or brainwashing Indians. It's not a Western ideal that was propagated by the British. It was something found in India way before the Mughals invaded India in the 11th century. It is something that's been a part of our scriptures. We have Vishnu, who takes the incarnation of Mohini, a female. He's a male god. He's the epitome of masculinity. And he takes a form as a female. You telling me that that was okay, but for a boy to dress like a girl or want to wear makeup, that's not right. I don't feel that it's fair to a young child who's currently exploring his sexuality, trying to figure out how he fits in a society, be pushed into this box where he has to be this certain standard of masculinity. That's not the case. So today's video was about the negatives found in the negative attitudes found in Indian society towards the homosexual community. And frankly, these attitudes only came about due to an ignorant understanding of the homosexual community, due to the fact that no one wished to understand them or relate to them. Anyone, whether they're gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, asexual, pansexual, transgendering from male to female, female to male, becoming completely gender neutral, they non-conforming to any aspect, they are still a person. They are still a human with feelings. They're still able to think. They're still able to comprehend. They've been through very different situations in life than you have. And that does not make them alien to you because you have not been able to relate to their experiences. So, that was what I have to say. So, yeah, this video is a bit intense, but we need to understand the fact that we can't constantly be using religion, especially to the Indian community. You cannot be using religion as a means to suppress individuals of the homosexual community because you yourself don't understand what the religion is completely about. Yes, there may be a verse now that says, oh, forego all types of sexual orientations and focus your life in devotion or finding your true self. That may be there. But there's also a verse that says, use your nature in service of the community, in service of the state, in service of the Lord. Whatever it be it spiritual, be it political, be it communal, whatever. My my message through my various last two videos have been that in the Hindu society, prior to colonization, prior to the dominant Western narrative, has been inclusive. We come from a society which follows scriptures in so many aspects, in terms of how we eat, what we eat, medicine, agriculture, politics, social relationships. We come from a community where there's all sorts of scriptures that express how we can live in such a unified manner, including members of the third gender. So, today was a bit hectic. Today's video was a bit intense. But ideally, the message here is we need to treat the person next to us, regardless of their sexuality, their race, their gender, as a person, and respect them for their experiences, respect them for what or who they are. May be very different to you. And I know this is not easy, but it's time we start changing the way we view people who aren't the same as us. It's time we start educating members in our Hindu society in South Africa that we're not a homophobic community, because really that's the unnatural thing. Not homosexuality. Homophobia is unnatural. You cannot be hating and discriminating against someone because their sexual orientation is different to you. We're not in the 1800s. We're in a very, very modern society right now. And you may think that homosexuality is a way of brainwashing individuals or a phase. Oh my God, let's not even go there. But it's really not. It's something that's existed for so long. And it's time, as the Indian community, you start educating yourself, because we're an all-inclusive society who loves and appreciates everyone for whatever they or whoever they are. All natures are welcome. And so that was today's video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share my videos. I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you for taking time to watch today's video. I really, really appreciate being able to share some aspects of myself. Next week, we're going to be speaking about modern developments of homosexuality in the Hindu community, and I will be sharing a little bit more personal experiences of my own in terms of that framework. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, comment section. I shall be checking out, so please leave questions, or if you've had certain questions and you'd like me to answer those, let me know. I'll get to them and we can really, really discuss things that have been questioned by the community at large. So thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you all next week.